if there's a stimulus,
Take a
that
pulse,
there
right?
is a response, right? What is that, Joe?
That take a pulse, check the pulse, right?
Yeah,
You're
exactly, right?
breathing.
That's a kind of response, right? The heart's responding, it's still pumping. So you guys are responding. That's how I can tell you're alive. If you're on here and not responding, is it fair for me to assume that you're dead? If you stop responding, would that be fair to assume? Yes, in chat? Yeah? All right, sweet. Good shit. I thought so, right? Can I use bad words? I'm still going to use them if you tell me no, but I just want to ask to have good
You're good,
manners.
man. Go for it. I mean, if
All
it's too
right, good shit.
sensitive, you might want to just join the customer support team if you want to.
I know, right? Yeah, perfect. Good shit. Because we're in sales, and against popular belief, I say the F word on all of my sales calls, and I close it like 90%. So it doesn't really matter if you use bad language or not. It matters how you take care of the person, right? So I wanted to ask you guys a couple questions. This is going to be rapid fire. I want you to drop a one every time I say something that sounds familiar to you and sounds like it resonates. Drop a 69 in the chat if that makes sense. All right, cool, sweet. We all got 69s. Great. Now everybody's got a good sense of humor. Now we can lighten up and have a good time. Good shit. Who here feels like they sometimes or often have some level of fear of going broke, getting hung up on, getting in trouble, worried about the prospect yelling at you? You know, you're going through your script, you're worried about messing it up, worried about saying the wrong thing, right? If any of you guys role play, maybe you get in your heads during role plays and you question yourself and you wonder if you're doing it right and you're thinking about your tonality and is my fucking body language durka durka and all that kind of stuff. Who here feels like they do that? They just kind of run in their head all day. And they got thoughts going, all kinds of fears, anxieties. Not Roxana. She's perfect, right? She just does this. Yeah. I ain't got no fear, right? So, or fear of success
Okay.
or fear of failure. That's another couple of them.
No,
Let's see. And then let me, bam.
no.
I don't know. Can someone mute Katarina? Because I don't know if she meant to unmute.
I don't have the ability to
Now,
do
all the attention's on you, Katarina. Now everybody
Yes.
knows who you are,
Sorry.
right?
Yes, we'll be muting her right now. Sorry about that.
All right, good shit. Thank you, Antonios. Antonios. Sweet. All right, cool. I'm gonna say it four more times, and then maybe you'll pop out of my mirror, right? Um, Now let me ask you guys: drop a two in the chat if you feel like you doubt your ability to close, you doubt your skills, you doubt yourself. Like if you hopped on a call, you have to rely on your script or your framework rather than being able to rely on yourself. Meaning, if you went off script at some point, you wouldn't be able to handle it. You couldn't just rely on yourself. How about doubt in your ability to hit your financial goals, hit your personal goals, or to be able to set calls or close calls? We're dropping twos, not ones now. So Azao, you get smacked in the face for insolence. All right, you get to be put in the little head thing, and we throw stones at you. How about guilt for procrastinating, putting things off, not doing what you should be doing? You know, maybe you're supposed to be training right now a lot, and you're not training as much as you could be, or looking for offers. I don't know where you guys are in sort of like your. You guys should are probably out looking for offers right now. If I was guessing, would that be a fair assumption? Yeah. Some of you, at least. Not Max. Max just sits there and works on to make sure his hair's perfect. That's what he does. He doesn't look for offers. You know, offers come to him. All right. Now, if that's your guys' situation, that's the kind of stuff that I solve. And I can give you a whole fucking presentation about all your mental problems. And we could talk about like how the mind works and all that kind of stuff. But if you guys have specific stuff you want to work on, technically we can just do that. So it's up to you. Would you like me to first give you an explanation of how the mind works, how the mind actually works, not how you've been told the mind works? Or would you rather just go into Q&A? Right? So you're not a brain, right? I saw brain and then Brian in there, right? So you're not a brain. You're not a body. Who here believes they're a body? Drop a one in the chat. Do you think you're a body? Are you a body? All right, cool, sweet. So you guys are a bunch of objects, right? Women who sell their body, they just think they're a body. They think their only value is their body, so they sell it, right? I'm a spirit within a body. Oh my God, Luke's getting it. Holy shit, right? Are you guys your mind? Or are you the one listening to your mind? Which one is it? Are you your mind or are you the one listening? Oh, you think you're your thoughts. So you think you are fear and doubt and procrastination? That's what you think you are? You think you're worry and overthinking? That's what you are? That's who you are? You're just your thoughts? You are what you think about most of the time. No, your life becomes what you think about. You aren't what you think about unless you identify with what you think about. Drop a 3 in the chat if that makes sense. So you will have problems to the degree that you identify with them. Who here feels like they identify as their mind sometimes, or identify as their problems, or like I have fear, and then you're like I'm fearful, and I'm scared, and I'm anxious, and I'm this, and I'm that, and everything's I am, right? And I have several voices in my head that argue all the time, right? So that's the thing. Your mind is a collection of mental image pictures, and those mental image pictures also come with sound. Imagine you had your whole mind was just a collection of movies, right? Collection of videos. All your memories recorded in your head, right? So whenever you hear the voice in your head, is it you that the voice is coming from? Or is it some previous thing that happened? Is your mind just serving you stuff up from the past? I guarantee you, everybody here has not had a unique thought ever. All your thoughts are being served up to you by your mind, and you're the one listening. What do you think? Drop a 4 in the chat if that makes sense. And drop a 12 if you're still a body and you think you're your mind and you're really solid, right? A spiritual being is light and fun and airy and doesn't give a fuck about anything, right? A spiritual being can do anything, period. So if you think you're a body has limitations. If you think you're a mind can't do anything but think and cause problems. All your problems in your life come from your thinking, right? All your overthinking getting in your head. There aren't any actual real problems in your life if you take a look at it. If you really took a look. You have to perceive a problem. Drop a 5 in the chat if that makes sense. You have to perceive the problem. Doesn't mean it's real. Okay? Who here feels like they are perceiving lots of problems in their life right now? Lots of 5s. You can drop a 6. If you feel like you are perceiving problems, issues, worries, fears. Fear is a problem. It stops you, right? It keeps you from doing stuff. Procrastination is a problem, right? Who here thinks they have control over their mind? Drop a 7 in the chat. And of those people who are dropping a 7, who here procrastinates? Drop an 8. Okay, so I got lots of fucking 8s. So if you were in control of your mind and your mind's the one that's causing you to procrastinate, do you actually think you have control over your mind? Drop a 9 if it's a no. Should be a no. Sure hope so. Whenever you procrastinate, let me play it out for you. Oh, I gotta go train, I gotta go work, I gotta go get offers. But I'm just gonna look at my phone for a little while, and you don't really wanna look at your phone, you don't really wanna play on your phone, but you just start to do it, and then 40 minutes later you wake up, you're like, I gotta get to work, oh my God, and then you start rushing. Drop a 9 in the chat if that sounds familiar. Where something else took over you. You didn't want to procrastinate. Who here wants to procrastinate? Drop a 10 in the chat. Who here wants to procrastinate? No, more good information doesn't make a fucking change for shit, Will. Here's why. Who here learns all kinds of information all day and takes it in all day? They're on social media watching videos. Raise your hand if you take in information all day. And do you feel like more information has solved any of your problems? Does it make the procrastination go away? Does it make the fear go away? No, it doesn't. Oh my God, holy fucking shit. So more information is not the answer. See, what I do, like with the work that I do, it's all a process of removal. We remove the procrastination. We remove the fear. I can't talk you into getting rid of the fear. We have to go in and remove the fear. I can't give you more information to scare it away. I can actually, if I say something like you're a spiritual being and you can do anything. Who here disagrees with that? Who here's mind pops up and starts giving all the things they can't do whenever I say that? Oh, but this. Oh, but that. Oh, but this. Oh, but that. You know, if I say you can do anything, meaning anything, Like, for instance, I can leave my body and I can go 6 states over and I can go hang out in somebody else's house. I did that recently. It kind of scared the shit out of them, but it was pretty cool. You can do anything, all right? When people hop on my sales calls, I ask them, "What is your intention?" And if their intention, by the way, is always, "I want to buy." So I just say, "Okay, so do you want to buy?" And then they're like, "Yeah." And I skip the whole sales process on my sales calls. Spiritual being can do anything. Why does a spiritual being have to use somebody else's framework for sales? Why can't you just fucking get the job done? Drop a 1 in the chat if this is making sense. Not out of body experience. Well, yeah, technically out of body experience, but not in the way that your woo woo shaman teachers might teach you, right? You can just leave at any time. Definitely not astral projection. Astral projection is pretty nasty shit. You don't want to do that. So that's it, guys. That's it. You guys can do anything. Who here believes that behind all the thoughts and the fears and the guilts and the doubts and the emotions and the wrong actions and the procrastination that you have, well, I mean, everybody's going to say yes. You got everything you need. And you didn't need anything else to begin with. You can't do anything, Travis. You can't. So now everybody knows Travis can't do anything. Who here can do anything? Drop a 2 in the chat. I can only help people who can do anything. If you can't do anything, if you're, one of those disabled spiritual beings who thinks he can't do everything, and he likes to walk around in a wheelchair even though he can stand up. You can't do everything at once. No, you don't need to do everything at once. That'd be silly, right? So what can't you do, Travis? Tell me about your limiting. Tell me about your limits. What can't you do?
Well, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Well, I mean, I think what I'm getting at is like when people say I've heard the mindset thing a lot, and
Mm-hmm.
what I want from the top performers though is they have a trouble defining exactly what that means. Like if you could write a document on what this exactly means, and then the ability to transfer that ability into other people
What do
is
you?
the
What do
issue.
you?
Because I
What do
feel like
you?
with top performers, they don't always know why they're top performing at their best, and they don't always know how to define what mindset really means. It's just like this vague thing.
Yeah, I can
Like
tell you why.
I know it's something. I agree that there's something there, but it's too
Mhm.
vague. That's the issue.
Well, do you believe that you're a spiritual being, or are you a body?
I'm not sure what that means on a practical level.
So
Like
too
it's
too 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 autistic. You got too into the weeds and into the details. A spiritual being is very specifically a viewpoint, somebody who sees and looks. You're the one looking. You're the one
okay.
looking at the thoughts. You're not the one who is the thoughts. You're the one looking around through the eyes in your body. But technically, I mean, we could technically all do this right now. If I had you close your eyes and look around your room, you'll see your room and your eyes will still be closed. So you didn't require eyes to see. When you walk into a room, Travis, can you tell if somebody's bad by their energy before they open their mouth?
Yeah, yeah, sort of.
Right. So how the fuck could you tell that they're bad? Because they moved their fingers this way and that was their body language tell? Or was
That's
it
like
because
it's
you
like an
could
energy
sense
level.
them? Yeah, you could sense them,
Yeah.
right? You could sense their energy. We all produce energy, right? And it's the energy we produce that others feel. So if you're on a sales call and do you guys ever feel like you're either not getting what you want across or like things aren't going well with the prospect? Maybe they get bumpy and shit like that, right? And they start to get rough at some point in the call or in your role plays, right? Drop a 3 in the chat if that ever happens. If it gets rocky on calls, right? That's because of the energy you're producing and then they're giving it back to you. It has nothing to do with sales training or the words you say. The words you say mean nothing. I've said the F word today a bunch of times. Did you guys immediately think I was some kind of guy who sits and smokes weed on the corner and does nothing with his life just because I was using bad language? And that's against, I don't know, whatever God you worship wants. They don't want us to say bad words. Did you immediately think I was a horrible human being just
Fuck
because I
no.
use bad language? Or was it the energy that you were receiving, right? Had nothing to do with the words. Right. and the energy you're receiving is pretty awful, isn't it? You know, it's just insufferable. But Travis, to get more specific, um, do you believe that you are capable of creating anything you want in life?
Well, I think that anything is a vague term. I think maybe we all have
Anything? No,
some
I mean that
limitations as a
very
person.
specifically.
Like,
Anything.
I don't think I can get to $100 million in 6 months, for
Okay.
example.
Could someone else?
Perhaps.
Could someone else who thought differently? You know how you get to $100 million in 6 months? There's only two ways. Three, technically. There's three ways, okay? I'll tell you. One of them is only accessible to the Illuminati. There's a trading algorithm that they use that gets them 40% month over month returns. So you could start an investment firm and get yourself to 100 million if you raise enough money so that way the returns allow you to take a chunk off the top. That's one way. But it's really hard to get access to that algorithm, so probably not in the wheelhouse. And then the two other ways that people make lots of money in short periods of time, does anybody know what they are? Other than sales, because you can make shit ton of money in sales in a short period of time. And it can't be lottery. It has to be something that is predictable. They can produce it. IPO, yeah, that would be it technically, yeah. Selling a business, so that's private equity. And what's the other one? Crypto, yes, but that's a gamble. I was going to say trading crypto or trading stocks would be one of them. And then the other one's real estate. Those are the only three that I've seen where people make an exorbitant amount of money in a short period of time. Do you know why real estate and buying businesses are so scalable? Because it's other people's money. You can buy businesses with no money down, no money of your own down. Did anybody here know that?
I did. I knew that.
Yeah, my man, right? Exactly, right? You use other people's money, you do owner financing, shit like that, right? So there's all different kinds of ways to where you could totally get to $100 million. Now, is $100 million in your bank? Is $100 million in net worth? Is $100 million in net income and gross income? Now, if you really want to get specific, Travis, this is how we get specific, right? But if your attitude is, I can't make $100 million in 6 months, do you think you're ever going to do it?
Of course not. I'm not saying I can't.
Okay.
I believe I can do more than I think I can.
Then do it. Prove it.
But it's just like you said, I've had friction of my first role plays. I don't have sales experience. So I'm really just trying to define on like a one document, what do you mean by mindset? So I can have practical exercises.
Well,
So
it has
I think
to
I can
apply
learn
to
by
you.
doing.
Yeah. Okay. Is it okay with everybody here if I have a free course where there's practical shit you can do for mindset, for procrastination, fear, motivation, confidence, everything. Who wants me to drop that? I can drop it. It's free. Okay. It's totally free. And then it has a weekly call where we do, because I only have 30 minutes here, but on my weekly calls, they go up to 2 hours. So we can hang out and like get as much help as you want in that amount of time. Let me grab this for you. All right. That's it. Hop in there. And every Monday at 1:30 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, I have a coaching call, and then it's free to anybody, and I'll help you with whatever I can. Okay, I can't help you with everything because some stuff requires more deep work and more personal work, and that's what my paid clients do. But I will do everything I can for free for you on that call. And there's practical stuff in there. But for you, Travis, specifically, whenever you are with friends, do you feel like you need a script to enjoy yourself?
I don't know. Like even like a date, it's like similar, sales, dating, friends.
Well, let's take out dating, right? That's going to be a whole nother complex soup of emotions, right?
But there's patterns.
So,
It's all similar in the sense that it all affects your mindset affects everything. To say
yeah,
that's the pattern.
My man, look at that. You're telling me you should run the show.
But that's what I'm trying to figure out is what the details of this are. It's like it's like a
there's
journey.
too many details.
Yeah, exactly.
That's why. Yeah. So in 30 minutes, it'd be really tough.
All right, what's the three things that are the highest leverage things that help your mindset?
That's a pretty good question. Who here? I'm gonna apply this to everybody, Travis. So who here feels like they get in their head and are thinking? Remember, those thoughts aren't you. So anytime you're thinking, it's not you. So who feels like they're in their head, not being themselves? Right? Drop a 1 in the chat. Right? So I have an exercise inside of that free course. I'll explain it to you now. There's two ways you can do it. But very simply, you go for a walk and you extrovert your attention. There's no such thing as an introvert and an extrovert. That's bullshit that psychology made up. I'm not going to go into it today, but everything in psychology is made up because if you're a spiritual being, nothing in psychology talks about you being a spiritual being. So the fundamental truth of psychology is false. Therefore, everything that comes after it is false. You're a spiritual being. We work on spiritual beings in my free stuff. So that's what you're going to get when you hang out with me. So if you're in your head all day, here's exactly what to do to get out of your head. It's very simple. Everybody write this down. It's so simple. Go for a walk and extrovert your attention. Extrovert. Extroversion is a state of being. It has to do with your attention. It has nothing to do with your personality. An introvert is somebody who puts their attention inwards and thinks and sits in their house and doesn't want to go out and talk to people. An extrovert is someone who puts their attention out and goes and talks to people. That's all the difference is. It's a choice. It has nothing to do with your personality, because you can change your personality at will. You think you're not in control of that? You think you got that at birth? Ha! Bullshit. You can be whoever you want to be. Oh, except I have this personality that I'm stuck with for the rest of my life. Okay, yeah, I guess you can't be whoever you want to be. Which one's true? Right? Do you guys think you can be whoever you want to be, or do you have just one set personality you're stuck with? Don't cuss on a sales call, right? Gay stuff like that. I say gay. I say fuck. I say really awful shit sometimes in my live streams on my Facebook. So who cares, right? It's the energy. Whoever you want to be. Okay, cool, sweet. So then we can throw out everything, that whole body of knowledge, which suggests that you are a body, a brain, a collection of chemicals, or only the sum of your behaviors. That is what psychology is. It's the study of human behavior. But if you're a spiritual being, you're more than a human. And you have far greater capacity than you could ever imagine. So back to what Travis was saying. I almost forgot, go for a walk and extrovert your attention. What does this mean? Oh my God, there's a watch. Look at that. Look at all the details. Oh, it says power right here. It says sport, Like everybody who wants to do a real quick exercise to get out of their head right now. I'll literally just have you do it right now. Right? Very simple. Look around your room, pick out an object in your room and bring it close to you. Anything. All right, scissors, perfect. Thank you, Cole. That's amazing. A phone, right? Pick out something interesting that maybe you don't look at every day. Because Katerina, you probably know everything about that phone. And what I want you guys to do is I want you to put all of your attention units, take them off of me, and put them on that object. And I want you to find something new about that object that you have not discovered before. Look at all the details. Is it smooth? Is it rough? What kind of color is it, What's it made out of? Katerina, do you have any fucking idea what that's made out of? It's not made out of mice, by the way. It's not what it's made out of. All right. And look at that object. When you're talking to the little old lady and she starts saying fucking sounds natural. Right? So tell me in the chat, what did you notice new about that object? And keep doing it until you find something new. Could be anything. Like I'll pick up, I got a pack of cigarettes. It's got a really nice color yellow on it. By the way, tobacco is the only thing that you can consume, which is a chemical, which is not going to fuck up your mind. Weed, alcohol, all that kind of stuff fucks up your mind, but you can smoke all day you want. It's not going to hurt you. And if you're a spiritual being, you can just decide not to get cancer, but that's a whole conversation for a whole nother day, right? All right. So what did you notice about that thing that you looked at? That new thing. Imagine if you did this to your wife or husband and learned something new about them, right? My God, how much better your relationship would be. Yeah, I love cigars, dude. They're the best. Let's see. It might mess up your head, Nick, but I have zero data to suggest that it messes up anybody's head. It might make you feel good and make you feel buzzed, but it doesn't actually stir up the negative parts of your mind. Okay, so drop a 3 in the chat. Drop a 3 in the chat if you learned something new about that object. And drop a 4 in the chat if you feel slightly more out of your head. And a little bit more in present time. So present time is being here and now. It's being in communication with your environment. So Cole, Katerina, Joe, Ferris, Nick, Max, Joshua, Christiana. I'm retarded, so clearly I can't say words the first time. It's really hard. Romeo or is it Romeo? Hey, my man. All right, cool. Good shit, right? So let me see here. So I'm all about my head. I was looking at my forehead. All right. So you guys got a little bit out of your head. So simply, if you ever want to get out of your head during your day, you need to get into communication with your environment and less in communication with your thoughts. That's it. So go for a walk, touch some leaves, smell the flowers, listen to all the sounds you can hear. Say hi to some people. Make them smile or make them scared. I don't care. Like, who cares, right? Fuck around and find out. No big deal. I make people weirded out all the time. Whenever I was acting like an ape on the side of the walk on the sidewalk in Hollywood, although that's pretty normal here, you know. I was like, who cares, man? Have fun. I was making a point to a friend, but that's not the point. Get out of your head. Stop thinking about you. You think anybody gives a fuck about you? Not until you give a fuck about them. Oh my God. It's that simple. Right? So you think people are going to think you're weird? Yeah, for 10 seconds, then they're going to go on and continue living their life. And you're going to think about it for the next 60 days, right? Where are my calls again? Let's see. So that's pretty much it. That's one thing, Travis. That is one thing. Get in communication with your environment and out of communication with your thoughts. Your thoughts are where your problems come from. Drop a 6 in the chat. Do you feel like that makes sense? Is that clear and logical, right? So number 2, it's 3 fucking, that's a hard question. I like it. I like it though, because I want to answer it. What's the other thing? Who here, playfulness is the next thing. Who here makes more money or has a better day or makes other people's day better whenever they're out of their head, more playful, light, and fun? Drop a 7 in the chat. When you're out of your head, having a good old time, playful, light, and fun. Thank you, Joshua, for putting it on your fingers first. Now I know Joshua can count on his fingers. And he's got 2 thumbs. Look at that. Oh my God. Yeah, just like that. Oh. Exactly, right? Joshua's being playful. So playful and fun, right? So let me ask you. How much harder, how much more effort do you have to put in when you're in your head, in your thoughts, worrying, wondering, fearing, thinking? You only have to put in effort when you're lower down mentally. Effort is not required to produce outcomes. The only thing, Cole, you look totally zoinked out over there. You doing okay? Yeah, I can call you out because you have a nice blazer, right? You're overdressed, so you get more attention, right? Who here has to put in more effort the more in their mind they are? Drop a 4 in the chat. But whenever you're light and fun, everything happens easily. Drop a 5 in the chat if that's true. That's it. For the people who are skeptical about that, they might have never, ever gotten out of their head ever once in their life. So how could they ever have a good time and know that it might be good on the outside, right? They really think they're a body, right? So that's it. Number 2 is be playful. In fact, when people come to a sales call with me, I said, I will say, I'm not fucking with you. For all you people, if you ever book a sales call with me, it's very fun, by the way. I highly recommend it. I say, what objection would you like to have now? How else would you like to get in your way? How much longer would you like to be in pain? I don't ask pain questions on my sales calls, by the way, because I'm a mindset coach. I already know your pains before you come to the call. I do not need to put you in more pain. I want our experience on our sales call to be so unbelievably good. By the end, you're blowing out of your fucking head and out of your body, and you're just like, when you pay me, it's a very logical decision. I don't want you emotionally triggered off whenever you're buying from me. That's the stupidest fucking operating basis I've ever heard. Animals have to be moved around with their emotions. So you're treating all your prospects like animals by not being able to bring them up to higher states mentally. So you now technically have a moral obligation to find some way to work with me so that way I can teach you how to do that. That's it. You're going to treat people like animals for the rest of your life, and you will be an animal for the rest of your life if you continue doing what you're currently doing. Drop a 7 in the chat if that makes sense. Animals can't smoke cigarettes, but if they did, I bet they'd love them. I did a bunch of mental work recently, and the only outcome I got was I have no problems. All problems disappeared. They all went out of existence. And then the other thing that happened is I really like smoking for some reason. So those are the only 2 things that came out of the mental work. So that's it. Who here wants to continue being an animal, and who here would rather start acting like a spiritual being? Which side would you like to pick? It's up to you, by the way. Most people live their lives like an animal. If animals got addicted, would their life suck? Show me an animal that's addicted to something. It's only a human that can be so evil as to produce something which is addicting and harmful.
Hey, can you go a little bit further into that? I kind of like that idea. This is Malcolm,
Yeah,
by the way.
yeah.
Because
Yeah,
it's
yeah.
like because assume obviously once we get on offer, we're going to be closing 25K, 50K, 100K, and then getting them to willingly like be excited about making that payment so that we don't treat
Yeah.
them like. Could
Yeah.
you further go into that? I appreciate it.
Well, okay, so here's the problem. You can do really well with the sales training that's out there. I'm not a sales trainer, right? I only help with mindset, and then in the process, I also teach people how to communicate. Do you guys like how I'm communicating to you today? Do you feel like there is something different? Drop a 2 in the chat. Is there something different about how I'm communicating to you from all the people who've come in here and communicated to you? Yes. You know why that is? It's fucking me. I'm communicating to you. My mind isn't talking to your mind. I'm trying to talk to you, the spiritual being. So whenever you talk to me, you can feel a sign of life. That's the only difference. Now imagine you could be this way on your sales calls, where when someone talks to you, there's something different. And it's not the fucking words you say or your fucking stupid body language. I can do this. Does this change anything about the words I'm saying and their meaning or the energy that I'm giving you? Does that, or from like, did it change anything? It doesn't. It doesn't change anything. You add meaning to body language and the words you say and your tonality. That's bullshit. Who here believes that if they just had the right energy going on calls, that it would go well? Drop a 5 in the chat. And Malcolm, I gotta go back to your question, but I need you to remind me what the fucking question is.
You're good. It was the
So if
yeah, it's about
Go-
treating people like animals, right? Because like I said, we're all eventually going to be doing 25K, 50K. So it's how do we then stop treating them like animals, elevate their spiritual being, kind of like talk to that in them so that they
Mhm.
willing and even are happy to then give us that money. And then we can translate that over to the sales calls and obviously eventually relationships, which is another topic. But
You have to
just
find
speaking
it
to
in
their
you.
spiritual being.
You have to find it in you. I've done probably 1,500 hours of mental work, both training and then having people do mental work on me. And I'm going to tell you the only thing that makes you feel like there's somebody here is that I've gotten rid of enough mental stuff for me to actually show up. I used to only use scripts and handlers and all that kind of stuff. And I used to be quite deep in my head back then. If somebody objects to me on a call, it's going to be the first. Because does anybody here actually know what the definition of objection is? Drop a no if you don't. Cole, what's the definition of objection? And no, if you ever do hypnosis, you are doing poison. Don't ever fucking touch hypnosis. That is pure poison. Do not do that. I don't care what else you do, but that is about the most harmful thing you could do. Let me put myself in a sleepy state and then install a machine. That's what hypnosis is. You put in something that runs on its own, which is not you. That is being significantly less you and more something else. That is not a good thing at all. You can spiritually close. So are you saying, yes, I just come on a call and I put the intention to buy into them. I intend for them to buy, and then I make sure that they intend to buy, and then they do. It's very simple. It's very simple. Okay? That's treating them like a spiritual being, because guess what? A spiritual being can have intention. But if you're being run by your mind, you can't have intention. The definition, by the way, of objection is something which opposes. It's an expression of being in opposition, against. When someone says, I don't have the money, or I need to think about it, are they saying they are against buying? Yes or no? No. They're saying, I have an obstacle to buying. So if you continue to treat people like they have objections, then you'll continue to get them. People do not have objections. They don't have to. I don't get objections. So fundamentally, it's not true that you have to have objections. Yeah, you can do that. People have done that, right? So very simply stated, the more let me ask you guys one last thing, because we're almost out of time here. Who here feels like they get in their own way and get in between themselves and their goals and have fear and doubt and procrastination? Drop a 1 in the chat again. So all that stuff that you do, that you put in between you and your goals, are your own objections to your goals and your own action taking. And to the degree which you give objections is the degree which you will receive objections. So if you don't want to receive objections, you can literally remove all the mental stuff that causes you to object to your own life and your own goals and your own intentions, and then people will show up with no objections on your calls. I can tell you that my clients have done that. Like, I've witnessed them do that. They can also intend to make money. I had a guy intend for $1,000 to show up in his account, and $1,000 just randomly showed up the next day. And I had another guy intend to sell his business, and 3 days later, he got a $1.3 million offer on his business after it being on the market for 9 months. It's quite simple. When you can intend to do things, they just happen. Who here would like things to just happen easily and not have to be so efforty and push, push, push? What do you think, Romeo? You want to effort, put in lots of hard work? I can't hear you, dog. Yeah, you're like turned all the way. You're negative volume.
Turn my volume on. Can you hear me now?
Yeah, there we go.
I feel like that's how my life happens, bro. It just happens.
Yeah.
Like, I try not to think about anything, bro. I just.
Yes, exactly. That's the correct operating basis.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. Yeah, that's not too bad, right? So, see guys like you, it works really well, because then you just need somebody to push you to have bigger goals and intend things that are a little bit harder to make happen immediately, right? Because if you can make it happen easily, then you're playing too small of a game. I'm going to send you guys, I'm going to drop my Facebook profile. So if any of you guys want to reach out and have a chat and talk about anything, like, just reach out. Like, you can get help with whatever you want. That's what I do all day long. I'll be available today and tomorrow for chatting in the DMs. Yeah, and I said hypnotism is bad. Hypnotism is bad because you put yourself in an altered state of consciousness, and then something else is installed, which is not you. Anytime you have to install any belief, that is not you. What if we just removed all beliefs, and then at any given time, you chose to have the operating basis which caused the results you want? And you didn't even have to think about limiting beliefs in the first place. Because limiting beliefs come from your mind. So what if we just took all attention off the mind and put it into present time in communication with our environment and got some shit done? What do you think about that?
Yes, but how to do this? Oh,
Do the walk. Well, I mean, I can't fix all your problems today, Katerina, right? I can only fix a few. The walk thing is actually really helpful. It's exactly what I do to get out of my head. right? So going and putting your attention on objects and seeing what you can notice about them, that sort of thing. So
Does the
that's
belief
pretty much
system
it.
then also translate over to like religion? I know that's a little bit more of a sensitive topic, but does that also then correlate with religion?
Which part?
Installing, you say hypnotism is a set of beliefs that are put onto you that change your state of consciousness. And anytime you change that, so does that also apply to religion then? Because it's installing a set of beliefs.
Everything's installing a set of beliefs. I could say that about your sales program. You've all been told how to think by whoever's teaching you in here. It really, what matters is what gets you results. But also, if you have to hypnotize yourself to get results, you're not the one getting the results. Your mind's getting the results. Who here would like to be getting the results over their mind doing it? Instead of running on automatic, you take control again. Right, exactly. So that's the operating basis, is that it's conscious. You're consciously deciding rather than reactively deciding and having things happen to you or having your mind do things, right? But it's we're at 30 minutes. So Joe, what do you think? What's the word?
Yeah, you can keep going. We'll know. They'll give us a little notice that you got time off, but you want to take some more questions and answers? I think this is good.
All right, good shit,
Make
man.
it
As
more
long as you
interactive.
like
Yeah,
it.
up to you.
You
Yeah.
know, fuck all these other guys, right?
If you
It's
get
just you and
tired
me
of this
two.
stuff, just let me know too, and I'll take over.
Yeah, no, I mean, this is all I do all day. I do like 3-hour live streams talking about this stuff, so it's pretty easy. So let's see. If you can turn on a money machine mode, that is goof, right? Or do you mean good? Do we have a participation link? What's a participation link? I feel like it's hard to examine what mindset is, and yeah, so that's a feeling, and you keep listening to your feelings. I feel like it's hard. Well, it's going to continue being hard for you. Congratulations, Travis. You're listening to your mind, right? Nothing's hard for a spiritual being. Spiritual being can do anything. Remember? So a spiritual being can also understand. It's all right for things to be simple, right? Goof. I mean, let's see. Dude, I can do anything. That should be it. We need the link to get credit for attending today. You guys get credit for attending. This is super cool. This is fucking gnarly. What? All right. I'm gonna actually wrap up just so that way you guys can get into what you guys need to get into. If you guys want to send me a DM, or I got all kinds of content that I post around this shit. If you want to fucking become more powerful and more dangerous to your environment and stop having life and your emotions happen to you, but rather you decide what you feel and you decide what happens in your life, then you can follow me on Facebook. And then if you haven't gotten access to the free course, grab the free course, because I think everybody in here, who here would like to have an inordinate, extremely high amount of confidence about their sales abilities, or at least about themselves. Anybody? So I have what's called the Delusional Confidence Masterclass. You guys aren't on an offer yet, so the second part doesn't apply to you. But inside of that free course, I'll drop the link again. Inside of that free course, that Delusional Confidence Masterclass will help you comb through all of your entire life and build up a very, very logical, not emotional, woo-woo, I'm just worth it. No, but actually, you're going to go through and find out how worth it you are. And you're actually going to put a dollar amount on it. So you're going to, who would like to put a logical dollar amount on their self-worth? I'm not saying that's the best thing to do, but it's pretty cool, right? It's usually several millions of dollars, if not billions, all right? So that's what I would recommend doing. Billions, yes. Bring me Austin Powers. All right. Exactly, right? You're running on autopilot. That's a good one, Victor. Good shit. Do you guys have any simple questions I can answer? I got Christian McAfee, Ethan Schaefer, and Payman Chinakawa? Close?
Yeah,
Maybe?
not too bad.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
my
All right.
base for other questions related to black belt program.
Okay, sweet. So, Christian, do you have a question for me or Black Belt?
Oh, you talking to me? Yeah. So
I'm talking to you.
to my spiritual being. So my question is, I was reading like the Bible this morning and said, have faith as small as a mustard seed, you can move mountains, right? So like, how do you believe that applies to sales and everything you've been talking about today?
Well, number one, you read a book which was not written by me, and then gave me a quote from that book and then asked me to apply that to something else, which I didn't say it applied to at all, first of all. So for anybody here, I'm not trying to roast you, Christian, but if you really want to put someone in an awkward position, ask them about something they don't know about, right? Or ask them about something they didn't say. But I'll do it. I'll do that anyway. Have faith as small as a mustard seed and you can move mountains. I mean, very simply put, what's the faith, right? That I can do anything. That's the faith, that I am capable, that I didn't have to have that. That's the small idea, but that idea can move mountains, because if you were capable of anything, then that would mean you could move mountains, wouldn't it, Christian? Yeah. So that's it. Does that answer your question?
Yeah.
Is that good, or do you not like that? Is that awful?
I think it's good.
Yeah.
But so you said you feel that's you said awkward or disrespectful though. That's the part that kind of throw me off.
Awkward and disrespectful. I didn't say awkward and
Well,
disrespectful.
not disrespectful, but you said.
See, the mind alters things. No, I said it makes it difficult for me because you brought up something that, let's say God said or one of the apostles said.
Yeah.
And you asked me to justify that towards sales when I didn't bring that up. You brought it up, right?
Okay.
So it's like if I came to you and I was like, "Can you tell me about oranges?" This guy Jim said that oranges are really good for you. What do you have to say about that? You'd be like, I don't know. Maybe they're good for me. Maybe they're not, right? That'd be kind of a weird situation, right?
Yes.
Yeah. So I'm not saying you did something wrong. I'm just pointing out it makes it it is awkward. It's not disrespectful. I don't really think it's
I meant to say awkward. I'm
Yeah.
sorry.
It's all right. We can be awkward together, dude. It's fine. I can handle it. We can hold hands and be awkward. We can make sales and be awkward. I don't care. We can pray and be awkward.
And then my other question. Okay, so when you went on this journey, you said you started to see what in as far as results
of the mindset stuff.
Yeah, like as far as sales results and money and.
I can't be fucked with. Bring it on. Bring on death. Bring on sickness. Bring on the government. The government doesn't like the mental work I do. They tried to destroy it. They actually did. And I'm learning it from the pieces, which I'm picking up from what they destroyed. Government likes to control people. My God, if there was a free being that could walk the earth. Government doesn't try and stop things like meditation and affirmations and hypnosis because it puts you more asleep. But if I'm trying to wake you up, they got to stop that, right? So the journey was I went through all that other stuff. I did hypnosis and all that kind of stuff. Didn't work. Got sick. Wasn't happy, wasn't healthy, was totally fucked up. And right now, what's the result? I found the right stuff. When you apply something that's true, it will get you results far greater than anything else. But the reason why most people stay stuck in life is because they're applying things which are not true. Right? There must be some lie in what you're applying for it to not produce a result. Very simply put, right? Drop a 6 in the chat if that makes sense. Right? Some kind of lie somewhere. Right? So if you apply enough truth, right, and you see enough truth, then it will set you free. I'm nowhere near free. I got like 10 more years to go, right, of this mental journey. But that's the outcome, is that I all I can tell you, Christian, is it's fucking insane. You have no idea what you're capable of. You have no idea. None of you do. You guys think of, being a spiritual being as like, I can make an apple appear out of thin air. And if you can't do that, then you're not this big magical being. That's not what that means. You can do anything. And you shouldn't use your powers for magic, right? That would be a misuse. You should use it to help others. And your capacity to do and create is far beyond anything you could imagine. We literally talked. Who here believes, because we literally talked about it. We talked about exactly how to make $100 million in 6 months. Right? Drop a 1 in the chat if that was a pretty logical. Now, it wasn't a step-by-step plan, but it was a pretty logical idea of like, how do we get there? Right?